Hey guys, in this video I'm gonna go over my league starter for 3.18 Sentinel League, which is a Toxic Rain Raider. I'm currently level 94 in Sentinel Trade League, and so far it's been a really good league starter. It's a pretty fast mapper, and I've been mostly doing like mapping for like harvest to create some gear, and also doing heist for some profit. So it's really good for that, and I just finished doing some bosses to get all of my void stones, and I also did the feared just to kind of try the potential of the character. Although my gear is kind of mid right now, I did manage to take down the feared. It was a little bit rough. I died a couple of times. I got a little bit nervous, I think, because I didn't want to refarm all the bosses for the video. But yeah, I did manage to take down the feared and Maven deathless, so it's pretty okay for bossing as well. If I get a little bit better gear, I'm gonna try the Uber bosses as well, and I think they should be viable on this build. I can get at least 3 times more damage, so it should be possible. And yeah, I guess I'm just gonna go over the gear a little bit. And so first I have this +3 bow. I'm gonna link in the description a video to Lighty showing you how to craft this bow and some other Toxic Rain bows, like an endgame bow, which is a hunter bow, which is gonna give a lot more damage. But this one is really solid. Before using this one, I used Quill Rain, and I used that all the way to tier 16s and started doing even some like guardians on that. But yeah, Quill Rain is completely viable. I did that on Quill Rain and just a 5-link, so that's a decent option as well. But you want to try to get one of these. It's pretty cheap. It costs about 2x, I would say. And then the rest of the gear is pretty much harvest crafted and recombined with these armor recombinators, and there's ones for jewelry as well. So this one pretty much just harvest crafted. You want spell suppression, life, resists. That goes for pretty much all your gear. Attack speed is kind of nice on gloves, and then you want a ring with the spare on hit. But the rest is pretty much just life, resists, and attributes. Basic stuff. Suppression, a little bit suppression. You get 40% suppression from your ascendancy, and then you get a lot from Mage Bane. So suppression is really not needed very much. But yeah, I have 2 rolls of suppression. You could easily get a big roll on your chest as well. So this chest is actually a temple mod chest with a Grievous Craft. If you're gonna try to 6-link a chest, I would recommend you get a little bit of a better one, but this one is fine for a 5-link. And having a 5-link on your totem setup is kind of fine. I'll go over the totem setup and the gem setup in a little bit, but yeah. For the quiver, you just want damage over time, and yeah, same with the amulet, damage over time and plus chaos skill gems. And yeah, you don't need the attributes from this. I just pretty much use this as a life belt. You just get an elder belt and then use harvest life rerolls and try to get maximum life and percent maximum life and flat maximum life. And then this just happened to get a bunch of strength as well, which is basically just life. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You should try to get a hunter quiver, because then you can actually get double damage over time rolls with chaos damage over time as well. But this one is fine. You don't the elder mod doesn't matter here. Projectiles pierce another additional target. But yeah, I think that's it for the gear. Gonna try to get a better bow at some point, but this one is really good. And you want the attack speed enchant here from harvest as well. And oh yeah, I have 1 mana craft here. Currently I'm relying on this enduring mana flask, which pretty much the first thing when you reach maps is try to get an enduring mana flask. Until you get that, you probably shouldn't reserve this much mana. You would probably just play without one of these auras, without Malevolence maybe, if you want to survive, until you get an Enduring Mana Flask. That's really important to sustain mana.
I'm not up to that just yet.
The only other way you could do it is possibly through having 3 of these crafts and a Watcher's Eye Jewel with the Clarity mod. It's gonna be pretty easy to fit in a level 1 Clarity just for that. And but yeah, currently we're relying on Enduring Flask plus these 3 or 4 nodes, sorry, to give us charges every 3 seconds. 30 Mastery and this one. It's yeah, you're never gonna run out of these unless you spam it a lot, which I tend to do sometimes. But even then, it goes back really quickly. And yeah, the rest of the flasks are life flask. You just want corrupting blood immunities somewhere, probably on this one. And you should probably try to get a seething one, but having a 50% applied instantly works as well. But you want it to be fully instant or semi-instant at least. And then you just want enduring on the mana flask. It doesn't matter if you have reduced mana cost of skills. I don't think that matters. You're gonna be able to sustain the mana anyway. And then we have a jade flask, a quicksilver flask, and a granite flask. The rolls on these don't matter too much. Percent armor is good. Reduce effective curses is pretty nice as well. You could try to get ignite immunity or poison immunity here as well. And then for bossing, I sometimes switch out the quicksilver for a sulfur flask. Could try to use another life flask as well, but you get life flask charges back as well from the mastery. So we generally don't run out of life flasks too much. But I think that's pretty much it for the gear. I think overall this gear is very cheap. I mean, I crafted it all by myself, so I don't know exactly. It takes a couple of days, I guess, to craft, but it shouldn't be more than like maybe 5 or 6x, maybe, if I would try to sell it, I think. And yeah, I'm gonna go over the gems a little bit. So we have 2 setups of Toxic Rain. So the way that works is one is a focused ballista and one is a regular self-cast. So
My mana is gone.
the totems attack when you attack, basically, and they apply the wither. So they're basically a big damage boost. You want to try to keep 5 up at all times, and you want to try to keep your you have to keep your mana flask pressed at all times as well. But it has a pretty long duration, so that's pretty easy. Otherwise, as you can see, we're gonna run out of mana really quickly, and it doesn't really come back unless we press it. But yeah, that's sort of the gameplay. Keeping these up, pressing flask, and attacking. So the main setup is Toxic Rain, Efficacy, Vicious Projectiles, Empower, Mirage Archer, and Void Manipulation. A big DPS boost would be to get Awakened, Vicious Proj, and Void Manipulation, and level 4 Empower. But we don't have that yet. As I said, it's a lot of more potential to this build. I'm gonna include an extra POB, I think, with an endgame setup, as well as some leveling trees in the main POB. And then yeah, we have the second Toxic Rain here. Toxic Rain, Ballista Totem, multiple totems, Focus Ballista, Withering Touch. I mean, yeah, you would if you get a 6 link, you should get Void Manipulation here, I think, or Efficacy maybe. Probably if you can get Awakened Void Manipulation, that would be the best. And but yeah, that's it for the Toxic Rains. Then we have the Auras, Malevolence, Grace, Determination, and then a Defiance banner. We have Enlighten here. You don't actually need it. You can sustain your mana fine anyways. I'm just planning to probably include another aura at some point. Probably something for Watcher's Eye, depending on what kind of Watcher's Eye I can get. Like right now, I don't have a cluster setup. I don't have a Watcher's Eye. All gear is self-crafted, so it's very bare bones at the moment. But that's a good thing for a league starter. You don't need a lot to get going. But yeah, where was I? Yeah, you don't need the Enlighten. It's kind of expensive, but if you can get your hands on one and start leveling it, it could be pretty good for the end game at some point. But not needed at all. And then we have Molten Shell with custom damage taken and increased duration. I have Life Tap here as well. kind of just because I have so many sockets. I don't really need it. I think you can sustain it very easily without it. Your mana is pretty fine. But just to make sure, maybe if I forget to press my flask and then I'm and then I take damage, I want it to be able to proc. So having life tap is kind of a foolproof way of making sure it goes off. Then I have Flame Dash as a movement skill. Pretty much just for bosses, otherwise I'm just running around. But it does make you a little bit faster. And Withering Step on left click makes you run faster as long as you're not using any other abilities, and it also inflicts Withered. And then I have this blink arrow set up with Culling Strike just to call bosses. If you can also use it to move around a little bit, but it's kind of slow. Yeah, I guess that's it for the gems. And let's move on to the talent tree. So as I said, I'm not using any cluster setup. Just taking these 3 aura masteries. Then the mandatory nodes is pretty much, you need Ghost Dance once you get Gravicious Craft. Otherwise you don't really have any ES, so there's no point in having Ghost Dance before you get a Gravicious Crafted chest. Which Gravicious Craft is this one. Gain 10% of maximum life as extra maximum energy shield. But yeah, you're just taking the reservation nodes, some damage over time nodes. This less damage taken from damage over time is pretty nice. You get these Grace and Determination reservation nodes. 50% life mastery. Skill duration here. Oh yeah, and you need to get 39% increased area of effect. So I get 20% here, and 9% here, and then 10% from having a 20% quality gem. So 39% is needed to get maximum overlap of the pods. That's the sweet spot. And for the Ascendancy nodes, we have Way of the Poacher, Quartz Infusion, Rapid Assault, and Avatar of the Chase. So just onslaught effect, perma onslaught, suppression and phasing, and then frenzy charges on hit. When you're leveling, I would prioritize getting Way of the Poacher and then Rapid Assault. And then probably Avatar of the Chase and then Quartz Infusion. But getting these 2 first is probably the most important, just to be fast. And I will include some leveling trees for Toxic Rain, but you can level as Poisonous Concoction as well if you want to. Or maybe like Spectral Helix setup. If you can buy just Quill Rain while leveling, that's gonna help out a lot. And what's that ring called with the minus mana? Praxis, I think. Yeah, that's gonna make leveling really easy. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the tree as well. When I get a cluster set up, it's gonna be here. I'm gonna put that in a separate POB. Then I'm gonna remove all this top stuff, path up here to Ghost Dance, and take these. But I'm probably gonna try to get a couple more levels before I do that. And yeah, this is just the easiest way to get going. No clusters needed, not much gear needed, to be honest. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for the guide. If you haven't started this league yet and you need a league starter, I can recommend this. Or maybe if you're not happy with your first one, maybe you try to make an Omniscience build and now you see it's like 10x or something. I can recommend this. Not much needed to get going, no clusters. Quill Rain and a 5-link got me to tier 16s, so yeah. If you enjoyed watching this video, please subscribe. I'm gonna try to do some follow-up videos of maybe some Uber bosses when I get better gear. I don't think I'm ready for them yet. And I'm gonna put the Feared Kill and Maven maybe at the end of the video. So yeah, thanks for watching.
The prize piece comes to join
My collection.
a cascade of pain.
returned tenfold. Space aligns.
My mana is gone.
Behold my collection.
I will have what I want.
I'm not up to that
Death
just
will
yet.
not be an escape. Scurry, scurry. Stand still. A cascade of pain.
Death made real.
Stand still. Cascade of pain. Stand
Death
still.
made real.
A cascade of pain. Why?
Resistance will be punished. Time contorts. Scurry, scurry.
My irritation is growing. Stand still. Death will not be an escape. Scurry, scurry. A cascade of pain. Stand still. Do what I say. A cascade of pain. Stand still.
Death made real.
A cascade. How?
Stop resisting. Reality bends.
My mana is gone.
Punishment inescapable. You
I'm not up
are
to that
being
just yet.
selfish.
Arrogant toy. Cascade of pain. Death will not be an escape. Scurry, scurry.
force an intervention.
A special battle just for me.
My mana is gone.
Gravity. Duplicate attack. I'm speeding this up. Shielded. Inescapable. Defended. Duplicate attack. Defended. I'm speeding this up. Shielded. Inescapable. Seek the quickening.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Reconstructing alley. Defended. Seek the quickening. Another enemy. Inescapable. Defended. Duplicate attack. Shielded. Seek the quickening. Shielded. Inescapable. Seek the quickening. Another enemy.
Gaze into the abyss.
Oh, gravity. Defended. Reconstructing alley.
Gaze into the abyss.
Defended.
Raised by blizzard.
I'm speeding this up. Defended. Duplicate attack. Shielded.
My mana is gone.
I'm speeding this up. Defended. Not good. Duplicate attack. Defended.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Speeding this up.